Subscribe to our channel, The Music Machine Gun, clicking on the red button and on the bell to activate all notifications so you don't miss any about exclusive musical programs and investigations.
On July 24, 1964, the Rolling Stones gave a concert in Blackpool, Scotland, at the Empress Ballroom as part of their UK tour, which turned into a riot that caused the Rolling Stones to evacuate the stage, and even forced to flee the city with the help of the police, leaving their equipment in pieces. When the Rolling Stones arrived in Scotland, they were hoping that the concert would be better than their first tour of the United States, where they had felt mocked and somewhat ignored by the media, with the exception of New York, where they were very well received, and they focused all their energies on promoting their recently released debut album, as well as their latest single, It's All Over Now, which gave them their first gig at #1. The previous days, the Rolling Stones had made a stop in their tour to carry out some recording sessions for the Andrew Oldham Orchestra. Some of these tracks, with sessionists such as Jimmy Page, Big Jim Sullivan and Clem Cattini, would appear on the 1975 Metamorphosis compilation. The crowd was aggressive from the start. Recall's Peter Fielding, lead guitarist for opening at the Executives, a local group fronted by future New Musical Express journalist Roy Carr. We were through most of the set, but the crowd started chanting "We want the Stones" and throwing coins onto the stage, until we had to cut things short. A large hostile element approached the stage as the Stones began to play. Immediately, some idiots at the front started tossing more coins, adds Fielding. As the girls screamed madly at Mick Jagger's moves, some hostile audience members began spitting at the Rolling Stones, with Brian Jones being the main target. They punched their way to the front, right onto the stage, and started spitting on us. In those days he had a temper, recalled Keith Richards, who singled out a ringleader to retaliate by kicking him in the hands and then kicking him in the face. Things got out of control quickly. Bottles and other projectiles were thrown, chandeliers smashed, seats smashed, and as the band retreated from the battle zone, the pack of drunken, revenge-seeking Scots unleashed their poison on the team, smashing a Steinway grand piano into splinters, smashing amplifiers, speakers, and Charlie Watts, a drum kit, whose cymbals were thrown like weapons. People were hospitalized, and around 50 were treated for minor injuries, as noted by music writer Richard Houghton in his book The Rolling Stones, and You Had to Be There. Outside the hall, the fury continued, the crowd trying to break into the nearby Winter Gardens where the Dave Clark Five were performing. The police finally put an end to the chaos, but not before an estimated £4,000 of damage was caused. Blackpool Council was also disgruntled and banned the Rolling Stones from playing the town again. Adored or despised, it didn't matter. The Stones were synonymous with trouble wherever they played. However, years later, some authorities learned to love the band, and in 2008, even Blackpool Council finally relented, saying the Rolling Stones would be welcome to the city anytime they wanted to play there. To date, Jagger and his company have yet to return to the Empress Ballroom. Ian Stewart, the Fife-born keyboardist, was the Stones' effective tour manager at the time of the Blackpool concert. He would later recall the events of that night in bitter detail to American journalist Stanley Booth in his 1985 book, The True Adventures of the Rolling Stones. Glasgow is the toughest city in the world, Stewart boldly stated. They will beat anyone, these people. They will take on those Marines. Anyone. They will lock them up without any difficulty. The Rolling Stones' performance at the Empress Ballroom was one of the most notorious riots in rock and roll history.
We are waiting for you tomorrow on this same channel, in a new chapter of Traveling in Time with the Rolling Stones. See you tomorrow.